You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
Here's what unfolded in Marseille, and honestly, it felt like one of those nights where Newcastle did so many things right until everything suddenly went wrong. The match began with Newcastle stepping into the Stade Velodrome, knowing the atmosphere would be wild. And it didn't disappoint. Flares were already lighting up the stands before kickoff, a massive tifo rose from the crowd, and the noise was so loud even the match officials were being whistled at during warm-ups. But despite all that chaos, Newcastle actually handled it well early on. They had traveled early, trained at the stadium, and tailored their preparation to stay mentally locked in. And for a good stretch, it looked like that preparation would pay off. Harvey Barnes, who has been in red-hot form, struck first with a sharp finish in just the 6th minute. That goal should have been the platform Newcastle needed to settle into the game and manage the crowd. But, as has sadly become a pattern on the road, the lead was not protected. Instead of building on that early breakthrough, Newcastle retreated slightly, leaving the door open for Marseille to regroup. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, someone Newcastle fans have been haunted by for years, had been quiet in terms of finishing during the first half. But the warnings were all there. And once the second half began, everything unraveled in what defender Dan Burn later called 10 minutes of madness. Just 18 seconds into the second half, a simple long ball caused chaos. Newcastle failed to control possession, got dragged out of shape, and left too much space behind. Aubameyang pounced, catching Nick Pope off his line, and finishing from a tight angle, with the composure of someone who simply refuses to age. And before Newcastle could even gather themselves, Timothy Weah tore down the right, delivered a sharp cross, and Aubameyang slipped ahead of Fabian Schär to slot home his second. 2 goals in 4 minutes game overturned. Newcastle had time, but never truly threatened a comeback. The energy, the edge, and the precision from the early minutes were gone. Eddie Howe admitted the defeat left the team bruised, though he insisted they would respond. But the frustration was unmistakable. This was another chapter in their ongoing away day struggles, a run that is now stretched over 7 months, with just 1 win on the road. Marseille, meanwhile, fed off the roaring crowd, controlled the second half, and leaned on the experience of a striker who has spent years tormenting Premier League teams. As Newcastle look ahead to a tough trip to Everton, they're once again left asking how a promising performance turned into a painful defeat, and how to stop these collapses from defining their season. Stay subscribed for more videos.